Well, good morning and God bless each and every one of you. Listen, I hope that you all are already having a very good Saturday morning. We are ready to go straight into this on this Saturday morning fresh word. Um, I'm responding to some who asked when we're going to go back to doing it. I know we did it once or twice. And so with a lot of different things going on. We're here this morning. We're here this morning. So once again, I want you to like and share and like. Get ready to receive from the word of the Lord for this morning. And I hope that it will energize your day, energize your walk with Christ. We are going to talk about this morning very briefly. I'm going to do this in two parts. So on Bible study night next week, on Monday night, we will attempt to complete this. But we want to talk about removing the mountain. A lot of us have different mountains in our lives right now with so many things going on around us. So we want to talk about removing the mountain. When you get to know the object of your faith, mountains can be removed. But until then, it's just faith. So we want to talk about removing the mountain. That's where we're going to come from today, this morning, removing the mountain. Listen, beloveds, as we always share with you, if you would like to sow, we do believe in Luke 6:38, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over shall whom men give into your bosom. The information is there populated on your screen, and whatever the Lord lays on your heart, we thank you, and thank you some more. All right, we're ready to go into this. We're going to go to the book of St. Mark chapter 11. St. Mark chapter 11. And we are going to look here at verses 23 through 23 and 24. That's what we're going to look at on this morning. St. Mark chapter 11, verses 23 through 24. And then we're going to shift over to Luke chapter 17, verses 5 through 10. And then we'll go back to Mark chapter 11, and we will look at verse 17. God bless each and every one of you. Again, I hope that you are having a wonderful morning already this morning. All right, St. Mark chapter 11. This is where we're going to start. St. Mark chapter 11. And again, we're going to look at verse 23 and then verse 24. Mark chapter 11, 23. And it says, "For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith." Verse 24, "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray," hear this, "when ye pray, believe that ye receive them." This is what the word says. "Believe that ye shall receive them, and ye shall have them." This is the word of the Lord. All right, let's go. Luke chapter 17. Luke chapter 17. Luke chapter 17 and verse 5. Luke chapter 17, verse 5 through 10. "And the apostles said unto the Lord, Increase our faith." Verse 6, "And the Lord said, If ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye might say unto this sycamore tree, Be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted where? In the sea, and it should obey you." Verse 7, "But which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, will say unto him, By and by, when he is come from the field, Go and sit down to meat?" Verse 8, "And will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup, and gird thyself and serve me till I have eaten and drunken, and afterward thou shalt eat and drink. Verse 9, he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him. I trow not. Verse 10, so likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. Mark 11 and only verse 17. Mark chapter 11 and verse 17. Verse 17 says this, and he taught, saying unto them, is it not written, my house shall be called of all nations the house of what? Prayer. But ye have made it a den of thieves. Removing the mountain. That's what I want to start with talking on this morning. Removing the mountain. I want to start with 7. I want to mention, I'm not going to go through all 7, but I want to mention 7 key things here. 1, how many of you want to see your loved ones saved? Number 2, how many want to see your marriage or marriages restored or even get better? Number 3, how many want to see obstacles removed in their lives? Number 4, how many want to see miracles? How many want to see healings in your bodies and in the bodies of others? Number 6, how many of you want to get your house in order? Number 7, how many want to see your finances get restored with even extra to give to the Lord? So then we need to know how Jesus would want us to pray. There's always a lot of how-to questions on prayer. As we look at Mark chapter 11 and look at verses 22 through 24, we're not going to go back through all of that, but I want to give you 2 requirements that the Lord himself needs from each of us to be able to remove mountains. The first requirement to removing mountains in prayer is having faith in God. 4 significant facts would be that the first fact is the object of faith is God himself. All right, the object of faith is God himself. So 1, Jesus did not say in the word, as we were just reading, he did not say have faith, but he said, but have faith in God. He didn't just tell you to have faith. He said, but have faith in who? God. Have faith in God. So number 2, faith has to have an object. Faith has to have an object. Faith has no value by itself. Only the object, God, has the value. So the Bible never says to have faith in faith. Yet this is the experience of many. So my fact number 5 is too often a great difficulty or problem arises and the believer feels he or she has to arouse their faith. 6, he feels that if he can just stir up enough faith, he will whip the problem. We feel that God will just whip the problem. But in reality, he has had faith in faith. His mind, his attention, and his heart, he or she's heart has been focused upon faith and not upon God. So a man's faith is not going to remove the mountain. God is going to remove the mountain. So practically, Everyone who came to Jesus had weak faith. Only a few had strong faith, yet God saved them and granted their requests. Let me give you an illustration. In Matthew chapter 14, when Jesus was walking on the water and Peter asked him if he could come out to him, then the waves started to stir and it scared him. He began to sink, but Jesus was there to save him. According to Matthew chapter 14 and verse 31, immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him and said, "Ye of little faith, ye of little faith." He said, "Why did you doubt?" So faith requires knowing the object. And so the more one knows the object of faith, the more one believes in the object. So let me say it like this. Consider two men who want to go out on a frozen lake, which is called ice fishing. One man is told to go ahead across the lake. He's assured by his friend that the ice is going to hold him up, and yet when he begins to step out on the ice, he cautiously and trembling takes step by step, usually until he can stand it no more, and he returns. But the other man walks out courageously onto the frozen lake and boldly cuts a hole in the ice and sits down and begins to what? Fish. So note, three important questions here. What supported the man sitting out on the ice? Not his faith, but the ice, the object of his faith. Who had the strongest faith? Of course, the man that was out there on the ice. The one with the weak faith is the man who slowly edged his way back to the shore. So what made the difference between the faith of the two gentlemen? Well, one man knew the ice and the other man did not know the ice. So the second fact about faith is its purpose. The second fact about faith is its purpose. The purpose of faith is what? To remove mountains. All right. So the Jewish community clearly understood what Jesus meant by removing mountains. The phrase was a Jewish meaning to remove difficulties. So Jesus' teaching says, have faith in God, and then say unto this mountain, be thou removed. Point number 2, mountains represent the immovable, the impossible. It is something almost too steep to climb and almost too high to cross, almost too awesome to see beyond. This is the reason Jesus discussed prayer and communion along with faith. So one learns to have faith in God as he prays and communes with God. And the more he prays and communes with God, the more he will know God. So and experience the removal of mountains that slow our progress through life. A third fact is the way to possess faith. The way is prayer. Jesus explicitly says, does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will happen. It will be done for him, removing the mountain. So these are two crucial points in this promise. One, not doubting at all. This means never having a thought whether a thing can be done or not be done. So realistically, only God himself can know if a thing will happen or not. But what Christ is after is that we grow in belief and that we grow in trust. He wants us to believe that all things are possible through him who strengthens us, believing in God's authority. Note the word says, the power of Christ came from the authority of God. All he had to do was say, that is, speak the word, and it was done. So That is the very point he was making to us. If we believe, doubting not, then we stand in the authority of God. A man who prays having faith, truly having faith in God, it will be done for him. The mountains which confront us will be removed effectively and quickly. When you look at Matthew chapter 21 and verse 22, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. So the second requirement here is, I'll give it to you tonight. The second requirement is expectancy. I just several months ago preached a message about the awesome power of expectation. The awesome power of expectation. So the second requirement is, I'll give it to you. Then I'll give it to you tonight. I mean, this morning I'll give it to you. The second requirement is expectancy, according to Mark 11 and 24, where it said, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it what? Will be yours." A man must believe and expect the answer to his prayer. He must be confident. He must be assured. He must anticipate and look for the answer. The exact words of Jesus's promise is interesting, because according to Mark 11 and 24, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Again, expectancy involves all of man's being. The spirit of expectancy involves a man's emotions, his desires, involves a man's will. He asks, involves a man's spirit. Therefore, he believes. According to James 1 and 6, and my time is running. James 1 and 6, "But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind." In the Bible times, the sea is considered the dwelling place of evil spirits. We see this illustrated when Jesus cast the evil spirits into the hogs and they ran into the sea. God has given us authority. The word for power means authority. Authority is for overcoming. So Jesus said, "All authority is given unto me," according to Matthew 28, 18 through 19. "And I give you authority over all the power of the enemy," Luke 10 and 9. So our authority we have authority over the enemy and his evil forces. So Satan is defeated. Satan is defeated. He is under our feet while we are at Jesus' side. According to Ephesians 6 and 12, let's look at it, 6 and 12. "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Why, if we have power over Satan, do we struggle with him? God could, of course, do away with the devil, but he uses him in a way to perfect us. Prayer is like on-the-job training for co-rulership with Christ. Hello, somebody. Prayer is on-the-job training for co-rulership with Christ. Say it again. Prayer is on-the-job training. It is on-the-job training for what? For co-rulership with Christ. So, Jesus battled with Satan all his earthly existence. And so do we. And my time is come and gone. We're not to be here even 30 minutes on Saturday morning. So, in my conclusion, so as God removes the mountain in our lives, he throws them back to where they came from. He throws them back to where they came from. And so my summary again to you is this. My summary to you again is this. When you get to know the object of your faith, mountains can be removed. But until then, it's just faith. My beloved brothers and sisters, I want to say thank you for joining us on this morning for our Saturday morning fresh word. I hope that this has helped you with removing the mountains you may have to go into work and face in your household, wherever the mountain may be. I hope that this empowered you this morning, removing the mountain. When you get to know the object of your faith, mountains can be removed. But until then, it's simply just faith. My beloveds, again, bless you in the name of the Lord. I thank you for joining us on this morning. Can't wait to see you on Monday night for Bible study. We got a good treat for you on Monday night. Listen, once again, the blessings of the Lord be upon you. We bless you in the name of the Lord. And if again you would like to share by the way of sowing, the information is populated there on your screen. Whatever the Lord allows you or lays on your heart to give, as I always tell you, there's no such thing as a gift too small or a gift too little. And we pray that whatever the Lord allows you to share, He gives it back to you over and over again. So once again, beloveds, enjoy your Saturday. I pray that you have an overly abundantly blessed day, blessed weekend. Go to church on tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first Sunday in a new month. Allow tomorrow to be that step you make in going to church. The word of the Lord tells us how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. I know we've got virtual now, and some people are so content with that, but I challenge you to let tomorrow be a day that you go and worship with your brothers and your sisters. Maybe even if you have to go somewhere you've never been before, but you've heard some good things about, I just challenge you to be in a Bible teaching, word teaching church on tomorrow. Do it for me. I promise you, it'll do you good. Like they used to say about milk does a body good. Listen, once again, thank you for tuning in. I pray that you have an abundantly blessed day, and tomorrow be even more abundantly blessed for you, and especially you. And until Monday night, the blessings of the Lord be upon you. We bless you, and you in the name of the Lord.